The following program on PBS 39 is made possible in part by Arts Weekly, celebrating regional expression, performance, and creativity, is brought to you in part by the Edward D. and Ione Auer Foundation, the Ian and Mimi Rowland Foundation, the family of Dr. Christopher and Kirsten LaSalle, and the support of viewers like you. Thank you. This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Today's show is all about art. In the second half of the show, we'll meet Deb Washler and Nicole Croy from ArtLink. But first, I'm joined by Charles Shepard to learn all about what's going on this fall at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. Welcome to Arts Weekly, Charles, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, John. Delighted to be here.
Well, before we get into the fall exhibits, I have to ask about the Helmholtz statue or sculpture that was taken out by a Ford F-150, or whatever it was taken out by this summer.
Something smaller than we ever thought could take it out.
Something smaller, yeah, absolutely. What is the status of that sculpture?
Well, this is a happy tale because A, no one was injured,
yes,
and B, the artist is still alive, so we were able to contact the artist immediately, and we took the sculpture very carefully apart, put it in a flatbed, sent it to his studio in California, and the artist finished other commissions that he was working on, is out there with the team, this week actually, reassembling what we disassembled to see from his perspective what the damage really is and what has to be replaced and what could be re-straightened and things of this nature. He'll fix it up, he'll get it back to us in the spring, and we'll have a grand second unveiling.
Second unveiling. Will he change the sculpture at all, do you think?
No, he was very happy with that sculpture, and
okay.
I think his concern right now is getting it right again.
Right.
Because of course in the day that he built that, you didn't CAD CAM things, so there's no easy blueprint for this.
I would have sold tickets for the putting it on the flatbed to get it to California.
It was quite an
undertaking.
Ordeal. Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
It took an entire day.
Well, we'll look forward to it returning to Fort Wayne.
Yeah, myself as
Charles,
well.
tell us a little bit what's going on at the museum for this fall and winter.
It's a very, very busy time. We've just concluded our Summer of Glass, which was a joyous occasion for
really
us,
successful.
Chihuly and everyone else.
Chihuly, yeah.
But off it went, and now we get ready for some new wonderful things of a different nature, and that includes a couple of really terrific print shows. One, Graficanos, about contemporary Latin American prints, and another one about print presses in the Midwest who feature printmakers who have social issues, called Indelible Impressions.
Okay. What about the space that the glass exhibit was in? You've done something to that space. I went online and looked, and there seemed like there was fog in the room.
There are very special things happening there. Now, a type of art popularized in the late 70s is called installation art. And the artist in this case would take the gallery room, and I would liken it to a stage set. They will reinvent this room in some way that you'll never know what it was or what it's now a magical transformation into whatever. And the whatever in this case is a piece about the Underground Railroad by Johnny Coleman called Songs of the Underground Railroad. And it's focusing on a 4-year-old boy who died while on the Underground Railroad on a stop in Oberlin, Ohio. It's not a downbeat piece, though. It's an upbeat piece.
What's the origins of that piece, then? Is Johnny, did it come from a story? Did it come from history?
He teaches at Oberlin, and he heard the story and did a lot of research and was very moved by this boy and his parents who came to Oberlin. The parents had to move on. The boy was sick, so another couple said, we'll keep him for a couple of weeks, get him back to health and bring him to you, but you got to get to safety. So they went to safety. Unfortunately, 2 days later, the boy died. They were not able to save him, carry him on. So he has a grave in Oberlin, you know, marked, but they don't know his name. And this is all about this
So the
boy.
exhibit has...
it's a memorial, so to speak.
A memorial. It has pieces from places that were on the Underground Railroad, or is it?
It's a poetic interpretation of the sights, smells, sounds that this boy might have encountered
on the journey,
but not quite literal. Though it's a metaphor, and it's going to be very, very sensitive.
Yeah,
he's worked on a smaller version, but never one this big. So we're very excited to have this come to Fort Wayne.
And it's installed now and open now.
It's working now, but it isn't open yet.
Oh, it isn't open yet. Okay,
no, we're working on it today.
And the other exhibits you briefly mentioned, you're kind of invested in Latino artwork.
Oh,
literally invested.
Yes.
Literally,
heavily.
All right,
yes.
heavily invested.
Well, you know, some of the most exciting art being made today is being made by Latino artists, and it's fascinating because some of these artists have gone through the regular system, college system, and trained in studios and so on and so forth. Some have trained themselves. I encountered a gentleman, a successful artist, an older gentleman, who wanted to help emerging Latino artists learn printmaking, and if they didn't have a ladder to success, he would provide that. So he and a few peers choose the best for a given year, 18 or 20 of them, run them through this course, which is like a boot camp for this, and they make prints, and I found these in a gallery and wanted to buy one. One led to 2 to 3 to 4. I ended up buying over 220 prints for the museum.
Charles Shepard the shopper.
Yes, exactly. But they're wonderful, John. They're marvelous prints. They're very exciting. They almost all touch on some aspect of contemporary Latino life in America.
And these are now part of the permanent collection of the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. 220, or do you have many of them?
Well, in the particular show that's opening, I'm going to feature about 40 from the larger body of work.
Collection.
And those 40 I felt spoke to the body of work and laid the groundwork. And then this show, when it comes down, will travel nationally. And then we'll have other shows from that collection from time to time.
Do you know when that energy started around the Chicano prints and the Chicano theme?
Well,
because in theater, there was a real movement towards Chicano literature and Chicano playwriting in the mid-70s, mid to late 70s.
Right about the same time.
Yeah.
Right about the same time.
All out of California. There's a Chicano theater company that started in California, has really had a lot of influence on American cultural diversity and contemporary American playwriting.
Well, and I think that sparked the artists. And so the next thing was into the studios. And who would have thought Austin, Texas? But many of those people way westward came a little less westward, and Austin is
it's a mecca.
It is.
It's a mecca. The largest, most successful graduate programs at the University of Texas for theater. Austin's a great place.
Well, and we just sent an adjunct curator out there to scout a new show we're calling Austin on Fire for next year.
Oh, great, great. Now, you also have Day of the Dead, which is returning.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, this is a deeply moving but full of life experience, because Day of the Dead, as everyone knows, is about remembering in a happy way someone in your family or some ones in your family who've gone, who've passed. But
this is carrying in the Latino theme.
Yes.
Because this is a Latino tradition.
Absolutely.
The idea of celebrating and
very strongly done in
memorializing.
Mexico. Memorializing, exactly. And so each altar, if you will, is made by a group or a family and features special things from that person or that remember that person. And in combination, it's a really stirring display, number one, but then everyone comes in to celebrate that this person had a good life and that we all loved that person. And so far that has meant usually 1,200 people in one day for us.
Really? Wow.
Who celebrate this and eat and have a
also 1,200
festival.
People who are maybe are not frequent attendees, if you will, of the Museum of Art. It brings in a whole new audience.
And when they're there, they see the Graficano show and find another reason to come back.
Exactly, right. We have some images which I think we may have already shown regarding the altars, but they're about 5 or 6 feet wide, and they can be tiered.
Yes,
multiple
they can be
tiers.
tiered, sometimes as high as 8 feet. draped in claws or painted. I mean, they really vary, but I'll tell you, so much work goes into each of these. It takes a week or more for the people making them. You know, we allow them that time to do it.
And how many do you display? Because it looks like there's a row of them.
We do about 12. We've gone as high as 15, but it feels a little crowded, so we like to be somewhere around 9 to 12.
Are these local artists that put them together, or
Yes.
are you getting people from around the whole region?
Well, it started just local, but now we're getting people from 2 or 3 hours away asking to come in and be part of this. And we take applications, and we want to make sure that we vet those applications. To make, we want to make sure people are serious about this, and it's not a commercial break for somebody who thinks this is a great way to reach that audience.
Right.
So we make sure.
Yeah. It seems there's a strong religious theme to most of them.
Yes.
You did call it an altar. Is it Catholicism? Is it Catholic based?
I think it is more than anything else. It is more than anything else. And of course, our Halloween themes spun off similar types of things.
Absolutely.
But we're very careful that there's nothing Halloween-y about these altars, because this is going back to the pure nature and intention of these altars.
Right. But the show, the exhibit, starts around Halloween, starts at the end of October.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. How can we get information about the Fort Wayne Museum of Art?
Oh, go right to the website, fwmoa.org, and all our calendars there, the ways to contact us, make reservations for the great parties like the one we're going to have tomorrow night, the seasonal party where we'll celebrate these shows and get them open to the public. Everything you want to know is at that website.
Great. Any other exhibits coming up that I didn't touch on that you want to mention before?
Those are all the great ones.
Yeah, great.
Well,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you came to join us in Arts Weekly, and I'm really excited about the Chicano and Latino theme that you have going on at the museum this year. I look forward to it all. Thank you, Charles. While we get ready for our next guest, please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be right back to hear more about ArtLink's autumn exhibits and programs. A new exhibit called Lots of Little Art, Little Bit of Big Art opens October 18th at ArtLink, along with an exhibit featuring paintings by Bill Schumann and Paul Demery, and runs through December 4th. Here to tell us all about these exhibits is Executive Director Deb Washler and photographer Nicole Croy. Welcome to you both to Arts Weekly. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
As I said at the top of the program, it's all about art this week, and ArtLink is a wonderful contribution to our community. You've been in your new home for
2 years, exactly.
Is it 2 years
It's
already?
2 years. October made 2 years.
Gosh, I thought it was 1 year.
No, and we're now somewhat comfortable in it. We're getting used to it.
Yeah, well, it fits you well, I have to say.
Thank you.
That I think the new space in ArtLink and the way you can do multiple things at once.
We're having fun with that.
Yeah, not to mention hosting parties.
Yes.
I've been to a few parties there, and it's a great idea for ArtLink.
Yeah, we love corporate events and all those wonderful things.
Well, welcome, Deb, and thank you for joining me. Tell me a little bit about what's coming up. You've got 3 things opening.
We have 3 things opening tomorrow night, and it's also part of the Downtown Gallery Hop.
Right.
So the 3
Which is also new.
It is also new. Yeah, we have a lot of new, and new.
I like new, and new.
We have Lots of Little Art, which is an exhibit that we have ran for several years. I'm not sure how many times. We bring it back every couple of years because it's a favorite. There is something about small artwork.
Right.
All of the artwork is 6 by 6 inches or smaller.
Fantastic.
So we actually have a little glass piece that fits in my hand that's a little kid looking at, I think it's a frog.
Okay.
So very small.
Yeah.
And then, just because we want to keep things interesting, we have a little bit of big art, which is almost like a tongue twister.
So putting the two of them together for the first time is this event.
Yes.
This show.
So when you come in the gallery, you see the small art, which is this very personal experience. You have to get very close.
Yeah.
And then you look over, and there's these very large pieces that some are 8 foot, 6 foot, 4 foot.
Right.
And so you can understand the difference in viewing those.
There's one piece in the large show, I think it's called 6 Men and a Saint.
6 Men and a Saint, yes.
That seems to be from an IPFW graduate of
It
last
is. That
year.
is from Angela Ellsworth.
Yeah.
And it is, I think that one's about 6 or 7 foot long.
Yeah, it's very wide.
Yes,
yeah,
and it's a woodblock print.
It's a woodblock print.
Yes.
That's what I think is astounding, the idea that she has
the time she took to carve all that.
Yeah,
yes.
and it's a personal piece as well. Having visited with her last year during seeing it on campus, that she knows all of those 6 people, they're important influences in her life. So yeah, that's terrific.
She actually has one that's a little bit of a visual play. It's called Rise of the Black Dog. And if you look at it one way, you see the front of the dog, and then if you go to the other side, you see the back side of the dog.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And this is on exhibit at
oh,
terrific.
Yep, that's
Great.
part of a little bit of big art.
Great. And then we have paintings from Paul.
We have paintings from Paul and Bill Schumann.
Right.
They are in our Betty Fishman Gallery, so that gallery is for members and then also educational groups. So we've done different things with different schools through there. But that'll be opening as well. And Nicole's part of a little bit of big art.
Right. Nicole, you are part of it.
Yep.
Actually, you and your students are a part of it. Nicole is a teacher at...
I'm at Carroll High School.
Carroll High School, one of my favorite high schools, by the way.
Thank you.
Mainly because their arts program is so strong.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a terrific place.
Thank you.
And some of your students?
Some of my students, yep. We worked on an installation, a collaborative piece. The past few years we have worked on a different collaborative piece, and we figured it was kind of time to move on, do something different. And so we decided to make these little puzzle pieces that lock together. And essentially, individually, both sides of a photo, or both sides of a piece of foam core have a photograph on them, and then they're linked together.
Are you showing in the show?
I am.
You are?
I am.
Okay, great.
Yes, I am.
Great.
Yep. I received a Lilly teacher grant.
Right.
This past May.
For I think $10,000.
Yes, for
$10,000. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
That is something your school, I hope, is celebrating.
Yes, they are celebrating it.
Those are not easy to come by.
Yes, and there's only a few teachers at our school that's actually received those.
Yeah.
So every year the Lilly Foundation awards 100 of those, and $10,000.
It's a rigorous process.
Yep.
Application process.
Yep. Grant process. And they encourage you just to dream big, and it's personal enrichment. And so my dream was to build pinhole cameras. So going back to the very basic camera, and I decided I wanted to.
Is pinhole a kind of camera? Or is it a
pinhole is kind of a process. There's a process.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep. And the process is called camera obscura, but I'm essentially preserving the image by putting photo paper, on the wall, and then preserving the image. So I bought a truck, a box truck, and turned it in.
Which is part of your Lilly grant.
Which is part of my Lilly grant. That was the main
Can you imagine reading that? Okay, she wants to buy a box truck and turn it into
a pinhole camera.
A camera.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. We have a photo of your pinhole.
Yes. And I have been bugging her for quite some time.
Of course, yes, yes.
Bring the truck to
Bring the truck. Bring the truck. So yeah, and actually tomorrow night the truck is going to be there at the Art Hop. And so viewers can come and visit, and we can meet, and they can see some of the images, and they can actually get in the truck with me.
I'm very excited about the truck.
And,
I'm excited about the truck. I have to say, I cheated a little bit. I looked at some images. Having a producer who shows me images, I know that there are some pictures that came out of the truck.
Yes.
And they look like negatives.
Yeah. When I work inside of the truck, the images are always reversed. So pinhole is an inverted image. So what's black is white.
Here's a bridge.
Yep, that's the Wells Street Bridge. And what's black is white and white is black. So that was taken on a sunny day, and that one was taken also on a sunny day. But
now, does that mean the truck? I'm sorry, I have to go back to the truck.
That's okay. That's okay.
Because you keep calling the truck is the camera. So is it the place you just happen to go in and develop it, or is it the actual?
No, it's the actual camera.
Shoot. You go boom, boom, boom.
Yep. Well, there's no lens.
There's
it's
no
a
lens.
lensless camera.
There's a hole.
There's a hole through the side of the truck. That is it.
Okay.
And essentially, the light comes in through that hole, flips the image upside down.
Okay.
And so it's upside down and backwards projected inside of the truck.
All right.
So I am in the truck with it all closed up. and I see the image upside
Working.
down and backwards, and I preserve it by putting photo paper on the wall.
And if I'm correct, you can actually do this at home. If you took a
Of
window
course,
and
of course.
closed a window down and just put a
Put a
small
little hole.
dot,
Yep.
you could see what's
Reflect.
outside your window reflected on a wall if you wanted to get an idea of
Yep.
what she's doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I did, though, I was a little confused by my prep notes about the shaking of the truck or the moving of the truck. I mean, and that can't be true. You don't have your students out there shaking the.
I don't know, they might be.
Shaking.
I mean, you never know.
I was thinking it's like fluid in the tubs. We have to shake the fluid in.
I actually don't develop. I don't develop the image
not
or
developed.
process the images.
Okay.
I actually roll them in tubes and transport them to my darkroom. But essentially, if the truck is running, then you're going to have the vibration of the motor.
Right.
So the truck is not running. And I have an external air conditioner in the back that I run with a generator that's
Right.
sitting on the outside of the truck.
Because
But
it has to be still. Then.
it has to be
Yeah.
still, but
Yeah.
that keeps it cool in there.
Right.
Because like this summer when I would shoot in there, it gets really hot.
Are these big images?
Yeah, they're huge images. They're
Huge.
they're between about 4 and 5 foot and 7 foot long. So the images are essentially 7 foot long by 4 foot tall. So they're huge images.
That must really turn your students on.
It does. I actually just presented Pinhole today, so my students are just starting to build cameras, and this is the first they've seen of it.
They're building cameras.
They're building small cameras.
Yeah, but you did something to your office once too. You turned
Yeah.
your-
I transform an office into a pinhole, into a camera obscura. So we all went into the office and saw the process.
I feel like I need to involve you in the theater somehow. Get you to transform something into the.
I don't know. We could do that.
Something on
we could do
stage,
that.
you
We
know?
could do that.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And so you're in that. You're in the
Little bit of big
little
art.
bit of big
Yeah,
art
bit
as
of big
well.
art,
yeah.
That's great.
So 2 of the prints, the Wells Street Bridge is there, and then the other.
Catholic Cemetery.
Yes.
Yep, the Catholic Cemetery is there.
The Catholic Cemetery has 4 busts in it. Is that the one that has on chairs? What is
No,
that?
no, that was one of my test prints actually.
Really, because it's pretty
it-
provocative, and I like it.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
it
interesting.
really wasn't even supposed to be one of my good prints. It was a test print to look at the light and determine. I was having a light leak and I couldn't figure out where it was at, and so essentially I did a 5 by 8 foot print to determine where I was getting light
I think
leaks
it's a
at.
very interesting print.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yep.
How long have you been in photography? I mean, have you always been?
I've been doing it since I was in high school.
Really?
I wasn't. Yeah, since
Yeah.
I was in
and
high
your
school.
degrees are your advanced degree, or your whatever degrees
Yep,
you have.
I have a degree in photography and I have my master's in photography.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yes.
okay, great.
Yep.
And how long have you been at Carroll?
About 14 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an incredible
Yeah.
place. They really
It's-
support the arts there.
It is an amazing school. They are so supportive of the arts.
Yeah.
I teach photography all day long. So
Oh, darn.
Oh darn.
Oh, darn.
Oh darn.
All
I have
day
to go to
long.
work today. Darn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
What is the third show
The
opening?
third show with Paul Demery has a theme. He actually has a money tree in that show. So if you go down the hallway, you'll see a money tree. It's not 100s though.
Oh, it's not 100s.
No,
Okay.
it's not 100s. So when we do know what the count is.
Okay.
But they're dollar bills. And he also has little army men on the top. So his
Oh.
has a political theme throughout the work.
Has he had an Army Men theme before? Because
I
saw
don't
some-
think
oh,
so,
okay.
but I
saw
don't
something
see everybody's work in every
recently,
single
yeah,
place, so
yeah.
he could have. And then Bill Schumann's work is a little bit more abstract, and both of them use brighter colors.
Okay.
Primary colors.
So the 3 shows are the little art, the big art, and then the paintings. And they're all
Correct.
part of the downtown
The downtown
Town
gallery hop.
Tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Well, basically what this is, 10 galleries have come together, and we had talked about, wouldn't it be great if we just had an event that promoted the act of seeing art? So this is about getting people through the different galleries and letting them know how many there really are.
Which
So-
is surprising sometimes. I mean,
yes.
there's a lot of
Definitely.
art in Fort Wayne to be
There is.
appreciated. Yeah.
So, and it was actually Dan Hudson from Potter's Wife Gallery came to me first, and he said, well, what if we do this? Can we pull these together? And we kind of put a dot in the middle of downtown and did a little radius thing that determined it. And then the other criteria for it was that these are galleries that you can stop into, Monday through, well, most of us are closed Monday, Tuesday
Right.
through Sunday, and see artwork. That was the other thing, not pop-ups, but something you can go and visit. So we pulled all the groups together. And we've got a map, and the map actually includes all 10. There's only 8 that are participating right now.
Okay.
This is the first one. We will have another one in November. So the last Saturday in November will be another
one.
downtown gallery hop.
Great.
And then we'll have another one in the spring, and I don't have the date for that one. But they're self-guided. We have a Facebook page for the event, and then we also have the map on ArtLink's website, and then we have them in the building, and then a card that lists what people have going on.
Do they have to start at ArtLink?
No, they can start anywhere they want.
Any of the 8?
Any of the 8. There are no tickets for the downtown gallery hop, but each location has a different activity and may have an admission fee.
Okay.
So it's
for the activity
in their space.
Okay.
Yes. So that depends on which location you're going to go to. And again, that's referenced
on the map. Is this a walking hop?
Well, if it's nice, I imagine, yes, you could walk part of it. But you're going to have to drive a little bit of it. Wondercomer is on that.
Down Fairfield.
Down Fairfield. And then we have Hedgehog Press, which is in the Lakeside neighborhood that just opened.
They were on it. That's awesome.
Great.
They're on it with Julie Waltolz. And then we've got Castle Gallery. And Potter's Wife Gallery, the Fort Wayne Museum of Art is on there.
So you can start downtown and make your way out. Yeah, terrific, great.
Yeah.
How can people get a hold of ArtLink and just find out what's going on in your whole season?
We have, our website's the best spot, artlinkfw.com. We have a lot of stuff coming up beyond just the exhibits that are opening. We've got classes going on, and we've got a resale event that's going to be going on. That's a fundraiser in November. So
I don't know what a resale event is.
Basically, we're going to sell artwork that people
have taken off their walls.
Yes,
have
taken off their walls, and
maybe
artists are cleaning. Yeah, maybe artists are cleaning out their closets. Yeah, so we're taking donations at the end of the month, and then in November we sell it all. So,
wow. Nicole, Deb, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's great talking with you. I'm John O'Connell with the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Please tune in next time on Arts Weekly when we'll meet director Brad Beauchamp to hear about the University of St. Francis's production of The Man Who Came to Dinner. Then Paul Hoverman will stop by to talk about the events and programs happening this fall at the Niswonger Performing Arts Center in Van Wert, Ohio. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And be sure to join us here live Thursday evenings at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thank you for watching Arts Weekly.
The preceding program on PBS 39 was made possible in part by Arts Weekly, celebrating regional expression, performance, and creativity, is brought to you in part by the Edward D. and Ione Auer Foundation, the Ian and Mimi Rowland Foundation, the family of Dr. Christopher and Kirsten LaSalle, and the support of viewers like you. Thank you.